What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're doing a Smackdown review. Start off with a recap from Payback, Roman Reigns winning the Universal title. Then we got Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman coming out. Heyman says that Reigns called on him and that Roman has corrupted him. Heyman talks up Reigns in his own eloquent way. Reigns gets on the microphone and says this is his island. It's going to be interesting seeing Heyman as the mouthpiece for Roman Reigns, being that Reigns is pretty decent on the microphone, but at the same time, nobody can really do it better than Paul Heyman. For as annoying as he is good on the microphone. Then we start off in our first match, Heavy Machinery versus Miz and Morrison. Heavy Machinery's taking most of the offense at the start. Miz and Morrison try to mount a comeback, but Otis nails a caterpillar, followed by a splash on the Miz, and gets the pin. After the match, John Morrison steals the Money in the Bank briefcase. We'll get more on that one later. Backstage, Sheamus ambushes Big E, giving him the white noise on top of a car. Big E is going to be taken to a local medical facility. We then get a recap of the Payback Women's Tag Team title match, followed by a Sasha Banks and Bayley promo, and that's going to be our next match. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, RIP to the no automatic rematch clause. Sasha Banks and Bayley tried to strike first with the offense, but Jax and Baszler was able to stop that quick. Bayley chop blocks Nia Jax's knee, taking over offense, but they still can't put them down. Nia Jax gives a lateral press to both Sasha Banks and Bayley, pinning them both to retain their titles. After the match, Bayley tries to help an injured Sasha Banks out of the ring, but in a surprise twist, she ends up turning on her, beating her down, working on her injured knee, beating her up all over ringside in the ring, setting her head up into a steel chair and stomping on it. So I guess we might be writing off Sasha Banks for a little bit, but we got that ball rolling again. Hopefully we don't end up putting him into therapy for a while and everything's all fine then. Bruh. So that makes it 2 on the count tonight for going to the local medical facility. And we got Sami Zayn coming out. He's pissed off because he wasn't introduced as Intercontinental Champion. Jeff Hardy quickly interrupts. The two of them argue on who the real champion is. AJ Styles comes out. He says he's the uncrowned Intercontinental Champion. Now from here it all starts off pretty quick. AJ attacks Jeff Hardy, goes after Sami Zayn. Hardy hits AJ with the Twist of Fate, and Zayn hits Hardy with a haluva kick. So I'm pretty much guessing at Clash of Champions we're going to be getting a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. Earlier on, Adam Pearce said Big E will not be participating in the Fatal 4-Way later on tonight, but he will be replaced. He's approached by Paul Heyman, they walk off, and we have breaking news. Jey Uso is now going to be in that Fatal 4-Way. We then get a video package of some chick from the knees down. I hope this is not going to be an Emelina 3.0. Then we go on to our main event, Matt Riddle versus King Corbin versus Sheamus versus Jey Uso for the #1 contender for the Universal title. Before the match starts, we cut backstage to Otis. Tucker comes up, says he can't find John Morrison or the Money in the Bank briefcase. Otis says he's not worried about it because he doesn't keep the contract in the briefcase. He holds up the Money in the Bank lunchbox and that's where he keeps his contract. Tucker goes, well, what do you keep in the briefcase? Cutting to another portion of the backstage area, we have Miz and Morrison. They open up the briefcase, only to find Otis's lunch.
What? What the fuck?
Really? We then have another cut over to the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt says that next week he's going to be unveiling a new friend to the Funhouse. Cutting to another backstage segment where Nikki Cross meets up with Alexa Bliss. Ramblin' Rabbit is sitting up in the back part of the scene. They both apologize. They hug it out. I'm pretty sure this means that Alexa Bliss is going to be in the Firefly Funhouse. So we finally go over to our main event. Before the match even starts, we got a big brawl. Back from commercial, we actually start the match. King Corbin quickly gets super kicked out of the ring. All 4 competitors are putting on a pretty good showing here. Matt Riddle lays out Sheamus with a bro to sleep, hits the floating bro on King Corbin. Jey Uso hits a splash onto Matt Riddle, gets the pin, so he'll be facing Roman Reigns at Clash of Champions. After the match, we have an in-ring interview with Jey Uso. He says he's finally made his family proud too, and declares that this match will be for Jimmy Uso and for the family. Jey celebrates in the ring as we end tonight's Smackdown. Tonight's Smackdown was decent. I mean, it's the fallout from a pay-per-view, so there are going to be a lot of recaps. The matches were decent. Towards the end, we went completely and totally ADHD, cutting from one bit to another, to another, to another. It's like, squirrel! Wow! Can we focus? Focus. We didn't do that towards the end, but we finally had a pretty good main event. Looks like we're going to have Alexa Bliss on the Firefly Funhouse as being part of the Fiend. Lord knows who this Emelina 3.0 is going to be. I saw someone on Twitter saying it's going to be Charlotte Flair. Who knows? We Probably going to have another 4 or 5 weeks of that before we find out what's going on. And that'll do it for this episode of SmackDown Review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's SmackDown, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.